Got a nice sandwich. What is this? Garbage. My camera died. I just had to do a little reboot. Unplug it and replug it. Looks like it's working fine now. We're working on making islands. So, we've already got a direction for this guy. We're still just working on the first cell, so we'll expand this as we move along. But, so, we've got our raised areas, mesh resolution, So let's see, we want to do 4 loops, I think. Let's go ahead and call this cell X and cell Z. So that we can do a good old int X equals we want to do cell X times cell size, and let's go ahead and make that its own thing. Int start X equals that. And we'll do a start Z as well. And then we'll do start X plus cell size, I think is good. And let's go ahead and just do +1 right here, and plus cell size -1, like that maybe. Just for testing purposes to get us going. Not what I meant to do there. And this is going to be an I'm sorry. Z, 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 and Z. Now we're going to do raised areas X, Z equals true. And that's just gonna make a big chunky island. Let's go ahead and do it like this. +2, +2. Yeah. Now we want to raise a path to the next island. So I'm gonna do, let's see, this is direction dependent. And we're going to want to raise a path from the last area as well. We did this in the last generator with a pretty interesting method. For now, let's just assume middle. So let's do a switch. Oh, come on. Switch next direction. Let's do a case that we're going north. We want to be going X positive. So let's just do raised areas. What? Start X plus cell size -2, comma, start Z plus cell size divided by 2. equals true. And then what? Just step on that a few times. -1. I don't think we can ever get to that. Start x plus cell size. That could take us out of bounds. So we might need to do a 3, but we'll run into that problem if it crops up. So right now I'm just going to manually raise them and see what that does. Let's see, south is going to be start x plus 1 and then start x. And for these guys, which are operating different, on a different axis. So I got a message from my wife's mom here. Good to respond to the in-laws. Likewise, you are going to be doing that as well. And we got too many pluses there for some reason. So now these guys are going to be, let's see, east. If we're going east, we're going backwards. So we'll just do +1. And this guy will be 0. This guy is going to be our, let's see, plus cell size -2. And cell size -1. That should give us a path to the next island as far as our first thing is concerned. And, you know, we need to complete that so that there's a full connection there. This is only within this cell's range, which we're not actually managing. That's a good point. Not actually managing raised areas on a per cell basis anymore. We're doing this on the whole fire plane. So I could just bleed over all I want, as long as we don't go outside of the array. So I'll probably be doing that later. I just want to make sure this is doing what I expected to do right now. So we've generated some raised areas for this cell, generate raised areas for the current cell, generate cells. And then we want to generate the ground mesh, assuming we've already got just this first area started. He's added to the fireplane cells. So generate height map. That's good. Now this is going to be different. We're going to do something like this, but it's actually going to be cell count. We made a number for that already. Cell count, x equals 0, x equals less than cell count. X equals 0, less than cell count. I'm going to do cells. So let's do fireplane cell, cell equals fireplane cells xz. And if cell is equal to null, then we're not going to mess with anything. We're just going to leave it alone. If that passes, we're going to check and see, let's see. So that's a per cell. Let's go ahead and do cell X here. And let's use our handy cell Z like that. Cell X. So if there's no cell there, just continue. And actually, no, yeah, again, this doesn't matter. We're not, my apologies, we're not doing cell dependency anymore. So we just want to do if raised areas, and again, this isn't cell count, now we're doing mesh resolution. Less than or equal. Did raised areas did not do that? No, the last one we always want to be small, so that's fine. We'll leave those at 0. Edges are always going to be 0. At least the 0 won't. So let's go ahead and start at 1, actually. Make sure that they are. Now, if raised areas, let's go ahead and just grab it. Float, no, it's a bool. So yeah, I guess we don't need to grab it. If raised areas X, Z, then and only then are we going to grab some noise. And so we're actually just going to make this be heights equals, and let's say we're multiplying the actual vertices by 10 right here. Let's go ahead and tone that down to 4, like all the other numbers. And then say, for example, right here we've got we want to do get chance. No, I guess we'll go ahead and stick with this. Get simplex. So we're going to grab it direct from the noise based on our position using some increased frequency. And then we're going to add 1 to it to make sure it's now 0 to 2. I'm then going to scale that down to be 2 divided by 5, 0.4, which is going to be 40 centimeter difference. Let's go ahead and do 4. And I just typed 5 again, just for now. And then I'm actually just going to add a base. Equals 1 plus whatever that is. So we're going to add a little bit of noise there, but if it is a raised area, we're going to just give it a 1, which is going to put it at 4 meters up above the ones that are not. Assuming we don't have any errors there. Let's move the plane generator not down to this, but let's go down to 902. And let's see what that does. So no reference. Fireplane cells 22. Generate cells, that's called here. Fireplane cells never got initialized. So, fireplane cells equals new fireplane cell jagged array to the point of cell count. Cell count. and that will not populate it. It will simply initialize spaces for them. So they will be null when we go to check for them if they haven't been created. This time we got an NRE somewhere else. Noise. Noise equals fast noise. Oh, we're not doing that early enough. Okay. Let's just move that up to our start method. Okay. So, what do we got? This should be the start, and it looks like it is raised, but it looks like it's not raised enough. Let me turn the plane off for a second. No, kind of looks like it just tossed noise all over everything. Let's look at this again. Raised area cell count, creating that. Okay, generate cells. We're just making one cell for now at 2, 2. We're telling it to go through this cell, which is kind of funny. There's no, well, we are doing the direction stuff, so. Cell X times cell size, good. Start X plus 2, X is less than start X plus cell size minus 1, which is going to be 8, which is going to be 7. So there's only going to be a difference of 5 here, and it's going to go through those. And then it's just going to add some other random ones. And that's fine. And then when we generate our height map, oh, I didn't turn this guy off. Whoops. He was just overriding all of those values completely. So now we've got this 5x5 dinky little raised zone at 2.2. Then there is just a tad bit of noise being added to them, quite minuscule. Definitely want to churn that up. So let's see, we're making a jump from the fire plane is at 900. If I turn that off, it's casting shadows. So these guys are at -2. Might as well just put that at -1. I think the plane, so we can have it be less sharp of an incline. And let's see now. We want to generate ground mesh, get next direction. 1. We're giving it a whole 1, which is actually multiplied by 4. It needs to get up at least 0.25. That needs to be the minimum, and then we can add some noise on top of that. Again, this is 2 divided by 4 now, is it? 0 to 2 divided by 4, which of course is 0.5. So that's a maximum of 3 meters. So we're going 1 to 3 meters with the noise here. Let's go ahead and it just seems like that island was a lot smaller than I expected for some reason. Maybe it's just because the player wasn't over there. Let's move the player over there and see the difference? Okay, so it's just barely sticking out of the lava now, which is cool. Let's bring the prefab and the player, our rock and our player over here. Please. Come on. What are you doing? Cannot be multi-edited. Are you set up to be static or something? You are. Okay, well, we'll just move the player. Over to here-ish. Right. Let's go ahead and copy that position for later. And here we are, surrounded by lava. Oh my god, what do we do? It's kind of dipping up and off with the tessellation there. Just kind of unwanted, but kind of cool. The material, I think, is tiling way too much there. But let's paste component values to get that guy over here. And let's see. Your material, I'm going to tile something more like 0.2. I don't have any secondary maps. We don't need reflections. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer for our craggly ground. What about 0.1? That looks even better, probably. What about 0.05? Nah, I think 0.1 was good. Okay. So, 0.1, yeah, that's good. So, like I said, I'm just kind of thinking that this is a lot smaller than I expected. I want to measure this a little bit here. Why would you put it way down there? Why would you do that? Yeah, not, I guess that's about right. It's about 16 wide, and we were doing steps of, cell size is 8, and we're doing +2 -1, so it's only 5. 5 times 4, 20-ish. So when you count in the blending down to the next there, well, we can certainly play with that. Let's just keep coding. So let's see. Let's just move this to +1 for now. And we've got this doing less than that already, so we'd get rid of the -1. So that should be giving us 6 out of 8 steps now. And this is just for that cell, is all that we did there. And again, since we're not controlling the raised areas per cell anymore, we're doing this globally, I could just bleed the walkway way over there. Just set it as true. So let's do that. Let's do for int x equals 0, x equals less than, what if we go from half the cell size all the way over to the other half the cell size? As long as x is less than So yeah, we want to do start x equals start x plus, and let's go ahead and make a half size because we use those a lot. Cell size int half size equals 4, but we want to make sure that we actually define that in case we change anything. Half size equals cell size. Hi, kitty. Divided by 2. Hey, what are you doing? You gonna sit on my lap? Oh, it's a good kitty. Half size equals cell size divided by 2, so that I can go here and say start x plus half size, and then we're going to do x is less than start x plus half size plus cell size. So we're going to bleed all the way over to the center of the next island via x plus plus, and we also want to do a check here by saying and x is less than mesh resolution. Yeah, because we don't want to bleed outside of the array. And now we can just say raised areas x plus, and again this is our half size, equals true. And if we're going south, we're just going to be doing, let's see, what, start x, well, let's go ahead and do it. X minus minus, start x equals, right at our half size, as long as x equals greater than start x minus half size minus cell size, and we want to make sure that it's always greater to or equal than 0. Again, so we don't go outside of the array. And east is going to be our backwards, so we'll go west first. This is going to be z start z equals half plus half size z start z plus half size cell size z plus plus. Here we're going to be doing z, and here we're going to be using what? Start x plus half size. And I think it would be easier to copy this guy for you, sir. Start x plus, yeah, and I kind of want to do these double, but we'll get there in a second. Start x, you're now a z, 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 and you are z, where you are start x plus half size. Let's just look at that. Just made it a little bigger is all I did, really. I'm not actually seeing that. This guy here, what's the deal? No, he's over here. But he's not making it above the lava? Interesting. Looks like a good chunk of this is not making it above the lava. Yeah. Let's look at that. We're adding 0.25, which is getting multiplied by times 4. So that means we should be getting a minimum of 1, where we are currently, we're 2 beneath. Okay, there we go. So now we're getting some noise, and we're getting a raised little island. That is traversable, but, you know, it's kind of ugly. So I'm going to go ahead and do... Here, let's do start z +1 as well. Half size +1. This will just give us a nice flat walkway, and we will randomize this to make it prettier later on. For now, we're just going to go ahead and make sure we get all the cells working. And like that. So we've now got a bit of a walkway through the lava. Now, we actually don't need to generate triangles for the whole thing, but yeah. So this is just our first cell that we're doing manually. Generate raised areas. That's prior to the height map and all of that. So this is our first one. This is our current cell. And now we want to do like a while loop. Like before, let's say let's just let it run dry, see what happens. What? Progress. Bool progress equals true. While progress, we'll just keep going. And so what we're going to do is let's say what? Current cell equals move forward. I'm going to pass in the current cell, and what that is going to be doing, let's say fireplane cell move forward with the fireplane cell current cell input who has a direction. So we're going to switch current cell dot direction or do we just want to say we want to get new direction xz. Okay, that's actually what we want to do. Direction new direction equals get next direction. Is that what it was called? Get next direction using the current cell's direction, and we want to move the cell X and cell Z into this as well. Cell X, cell Z. We're not currently controlling that specifically, so let's do int current X equals 2 int, or I guess cell X, cell Z equals 2. And might as well use them here. CX, CZ, CX, CZ. And then we're going to pass that into here, CX, CZ. And let's go ahead and make those references, because we're going to change them inside of here. So get next direction, and then I'm going to switch new direction, and let's say case direction north. We're going to do cell X plus plus and break. And we're going to do east, west, south. East is going to be Z minus minus. West is northeast west. I'm not sure why I did that. Stuff like that bothers me. South is going to be minus minus, and this is going to be Z plus plus. And let's see. First of all, get next direction. There is a chance for this to return null if we've hit a dead end. So in that case, if next direction is equal to direction dot null, then we want to mark the current cell as a dead end, and we want to return, whoops, I am not in the right spot. That was up here. If new direction, and this is current cell, and we want to return null. If we're good to move, we'll do that. We will do fireplane cells. Let's see. Fireplane cell, new cell equals new cell, and his new cell dot direction is going to equal the new direction, and fireplane cells, cell X, cell Z is going to be set to the new cell, and then we're going to return the new cell. So current cell is now going to become this new cell. Now if current cell has gone null, then that means that progress is no longer possible. And we want to stop. And let's see what that does. Probably going to go out of bounds somewhere. Did we do any checks for that? We're not doing checks here, are we? But get next direction is it not? It is, I think. Cell count -1. Remove, yeah, that should keep us from going out of bounds. Let's give it a try. And nothing new. Did we actually even call that? What happened? Generate cells, generate raised areas. Oh, I didn't generate raised areas for any of that stuff. Progress equals false, else Generate raised areas for the current cell and the cell XLZ, which have been modified. Very good. And now we've got a random walk of islands that we could traverse, and we could put stones, and you could even jump across those. I think they're way too small though, first of all. Looking at them in first person, yeah, it's just way too small there. Let's go ahead and do what? Can I change that up here? Cell size equals 8. Cell size equals 16. Okay, that's bigger, and not really what I'm thinking of, honestly. It is nice to have sort of a path to move around. I think the cell approach is not what we want. We're doing connected islands right now. We could do a continent shape. We could do just a literal drunken walk. No rooms. Bad, good habit. In other words, we could just draw a mush. Just go blah 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 blah. Mush 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 mush. Like a worm. We could plop random islands without defining cells. Give a big island here, make an island here, draw a connection, make an island here, draw a connection. Number of ways to go about things. Could do one big continent. I mean, we could do this method and randomize these a lot more. Make them more circular, have them dipping in and out a lot more so they're not squares like this. But I don't think this cell approach is quite the organic look that it needs. It looks good for a dungeon generator because dungeons are man-made rooms. But lava plains, let's just look at like fantasy lava level images. Fantasy lava map maybe is what I wanted, kind of fantasy lava map. These are some cool battle maps for Dungeons and Dragons. Not quite what I'm looking for. Let's see. Fantasy fireplane map. This is kind of what I'm talking about here. Maybe we should just stick to noise. Like this is cool here. That's a good. Yeah, I like that. That looks like a StarCraft map. We could do an expanding worm. We could do the opposite approach and subtract lava. Have the whole thing start out flat, cut out the edges, and then cut swaths of lava out. That does create the possibility of things being not connected. You know, we could cut it in two, but you can build there. We could make it so that you can't use wood. Maybe wood catches fire and burns. But you can use stone to bridge gaps if need be. And there'll be rocks in here anyway. Let's try some things like that. So let's push this to source control. And you know what? Yeah, I don't care. I got a lot of disk space. I'm just gonna push it all. It's gonna yell at me because I just added 4 gigabytes in there. Yeah, I probably shouldn't push all of that. That's a little much. We don't need that stuff. Let's do ignore everything beneath nature manufacture assets. Is that what it was? Okay. Yeah. So we just don't quite need that much stuff. Really just need the scripts. So this is going to be Fireplane Islands. Let's instead, we kind of tried noise, but we didn't really give it a fair shot. Let's say that we not you. Let's make a new one and call it Fireplane Generator 2. And we'll just paste that down. Call you number 2. Current cell direction. How are you not aware of directions? Well, we can't have you on here twice. But we're not going to use you. I'm going to go back to noise. I'm going to get rid of y'all, which means getting rid of all of you, not generating cells, not moving forward, not generating raised areas, not getting directions. Not using that. We're currently 1, yeah, so we're going to do plus 0.25. So let's say this is more like 0.15. And we also would want to do like a dampener. The closer we get to the edges, or how about the further we get from the center? So yeah, it's sort of volcano-y shaped, but that'll get rid of lava in the middle completely. Yeah, but we'll just do it just a little bit. So I'm going to turn this guy off. I'm going to duplicate him. And I'm going to add number 2. Show him his mesh filter. All of that. And this is just going to look like this, but honestly, not too bad. I think we can just lower that down a little bit. Sometimes you just got to try stuff. See how it looks. Looks pretty cool. It's still largely traversable. I don't really see any spots that you're actually gonna like end up like, you know, oh god, I can't. There's nowhere to go. And if you do, you can still build across it. It's very flat, but we'll add lots of rocks in. What if we, let's see, if we move that down, this will be 0 to 4 meters. Yeah, that I do like having a little bit of height. Let's go ahead and not divide that at all. How about? And we're probably gonna want to move it down a little bit. But we can actually do that manually. Let's see how it spawns. So this is, yeah, too high, but what if we just start bringing it down to something like this-ish. And if we were up on top here, now we've got these. Yeah, I like this better. So it's more, there's still places to go, and I might even like to scale this up further. But it just looks a lot more natural that way. Okay, so let's stick with this for right now. And we do, though, we want to get rid of the edges. Oh, shoot, and I didn't save that. Something like this. How about a nice even 0.5? Okay. If I turn this up to 2, well, you know, I mean, what? I don't think I can go up to 256. That'll break it. Or is that the max? That's the max. We can make it that big if we want to, if we need to. And that ends up being a full kilometer, 256 times 4. So don't think we need that. I think 512 is pretty good size, which 128 is. So yeah. Anyway, we need to get rid of the edges. Looks like we already did get rid of the edges, actually. We're not going all the way to the edges, but that's a really sharp, it's a very sharp and subtle end nonetheless, even if there are no ends that are technically poking out. Cat's dreaming something. Chasing rabbits. We want to do something like, I think making, well, it doesn't have to be round necessarily, but I think that would be a good way to go. So let's say mesh resolution, let's say int half resolution equals 64. And just want to make sure, in case we change that, that half resolution equals mesh resolution divided by 2. And I'm going to be using that to figure out how far away we are. So let's say we want to get the distance from the center. So vector 2, let's put one up here. Vector 2 center equals new vector 2 half res, and then this guy's going to be current, we'll say pause equals new, and he's going to be half resolution minus x. I'm going to make him the absolute of that. So if it's 64 minus 64, we're going to be at 0. So I guess I don't really need these. No, yeah, I guess that is what I'm trying to do here. So math function abs half resolution minus z. And now if vector 2 dot distance center and pause is greater than let's say half resolution minus, let's say minus 5 times 4 would be 20 meters. So let's say 10. It'll be like 40 meters. Half resolution minus 10. Then let's see. Let's do float distance equals this, and we'll do this guy minus equals he's just a range of 0 to 2 so far. Basically, if distance is greater than half resolution minus 10, that leaves well, let's do distance, let's say minus equals distance minus half resolution minus 10. So however much he's gone beyond 64, we're going to subtract from here, but I want to subtract it by only a factor of something like 5-ish. I think that will be fine. And we should find that we now get a circle shape. Oops, I did that backwards, didn't I? If distance equals greater than when we get to 64, we're going to be doing 64 minus 64, so we're going to be getting 0, 0. Okay, so we want to pretend like the center is 0, 0, actually. I see. So, vector 2 distance, vector 2 dot 0. So now we've got this circle shape, and how about we raise it up in just the middle part? So if the distance is greater than half the resolution minus 10, let's say then else if distance equals less than again something like 10's probably not enough. Let's say less than 20. If we're less than 20, which is times 4, so 80 meters from the center, then instead I want you to do plus equals a bit of the whatever the distance is. Let's do, if the distance equals less than 20, I want you to do 20 minus distance. and that should be an absolute. So if we're at 0, we're going to do 20 minus 0. Yeah, it doesn't need to be an absolute. Less than 20. So if we're at 15, it'll be 20 minus 15. It'll go 5. If we're at 0, it'll be 20 minus 5. Yeah, divided by 5. Let's just see how sharp of an incline that is. Get this blob in the middle. And in first person, that's pretty obvious, though pretty close. Say I think we might want to up this to be bigger than it is. And here we hit a impassable thing, and then we can have a, I think it might be fun to put a teleporter up here and then have an actual boss room sort of like up above this thing, and like this floating fire pillar, and have lava flowing off of it and like fire dropping down and stuff. I still think this might just be a little too small though. This guy is a square kilometer. This guy really isn't going out to the edges there. He's only half of that. And I don't necessarily need him to be the full 256, but let's give it a try. So if we go 256, we're gonna need to up this to 512 and 512, and let's climb up on land. In this case, we could make the bulge a lot bigger. So say you start out somewhere out here, and you gotta try to make your way into the middle. Let's say if the distance is less than 40, you do 40, and then let's move this down to like 3-ish. That's kind of cool. These guys aren't getting raised funky. They are getting raised funky. What's going on here? We're getting some funky triangles. And these guys are not getting properly lowered. And, yeah, what's this funky? Something's carrying over wrong. Anyway, should be 0. Anyway, let's do let's offset ourselves to transform.position equals new vector 3, you need to go 0 minus mesh resolution times 2. No, times just mesh resolution. That seems counterintuitive. It's times 2, because then we're at 4 total. I got it. Whatever your current position dot y is, and once again 0 minus mesh resolution times 2, just so I don't have to do that manually if I ever change the resolution again. I'm curious what that triangle error is, but so I'm kind of out near the spawn here, but let's say we make it to here. There's rocks and fireballs going on, and then we can put scary or bad guys here, maybe some traps, that kind of stuff. Would kind of like to level out the top a little bit, maybe. But that looks pretty cool. Don't have deferred fog, unfortunately, or I could simply fog all of that stuff away, because that's what's actually happening. This is, it should be lava, but the fog is just overriding it. Default Unity fog doesn't know how to override. The skybox. We could bring that in with, what's it called? Post-processing, if it would work. Hello. Post-processing. And this is already installed in Solace Crafting. Then we just need a bunch of rocks and particle effects and some plants and stuff, bad guys. Let me open up that. I had to reboot earlier. Get the asset loader loading. So let's see, what do I have to do here? Camera, add post-processing layer. Nothing, default, trigger, toolkit, custom effect sorting. Kind of forget how all of this works. Create post-processing. Profile. Fireplane. PP profile. And I just want to add I don't know what it's called. Color grading, bloom. No, it's not actually any of these. I thought it was just controllable on the camera itself. Camera. Post-processing layer. Layer default mode, no. Export, select all layer volumes, select active volume, no custom effect loaded. Create post-process profile scene. Post-processing volume. Still wants a profile for that though. Forgive me, for I have forgotten. Unity deferred rendering fog post-processing. Render lighting effects, things exclude skybox, deferred fog. This is you're talking about 2019. Is this like something that's only available in the latest and greatest? And I don't have it? Or what are you talking about here? Yeah, post-processing, right. This is the post-processing. The fog effect overlay is a color. It's an effect. Deferred fog. How do I add it in? Fog waves and exponential. Fog settings are in the scene tab. I'm well aware of that. Property details. This fog requirements. See graphics hardware. It is an effect. Add effect. Did I just not see it? There's no deferred fog here. Why is there no deferred fog there? Do I need to download this off of... It is enabled by default and adds the support of fog or length forward. Maybe I just don't have my camera set up right. Rendering path deferred. Post-processing file deferred fog. It's just not there. Well, how about I drag him on here anyway. Custom effect sorting. Add post-processing effect. I don't want to read the manual. Post-processing volume. Profile. Add effect. Unity. There is no deferred fog. What if I'm on forward? Still not gonna let me do it, I know. It's probably gonna make me download from their Git repository. Home, blah blah blah, installation, blah blah blah. Did that sources, GitHub desktop, post-processing, quick start. Post-processing layer, main camera, nothing minus trigger, a layer, mask layer. First volume blending for this camera, it's nothing. There's this manual that comes out. I'll use the post-processing volumes. Alright. I think I've even read this post before. The fog flexibility is only supposed to requirements. Call a fog was quiet, trip during 18.2. There's no fog anymore. Reavers, no fog option. Switch camera rendering path to refer. The fog things will appear. The same issue here, like as I mentioned, the third is no longer post on the default rendering engine. You can access fog settings at the bottom of the lighting window for the post-processing stack, but can't see it there as you're not using them. Fog. System requirements available. PvP package 2. Version fog. Yes. See post-processing deferred fog. We already looked at this. Not working. There's no fog. Whatever. That was a waste of time. Let me just completely remove you, as you have been absolutely no help at all. That was just the volume, right? Okay. Blah, blah, blah. That didn't work. Anyway. So, let's, we got this guy doing kind of a nice thing. Mesh rendering. He's big. He's in the center. Player's not really spawning anywhere good. You're never actually going to be able to see this. Might make the noise a little bit bigger. Let's see. Let's make that more like 7-ish. See how that looks. Yeah, it's a little nicer. Bigger gaps too. Okay, let's start tossing in just some rocks for kicks. We've got our height maps that we can check for if something is below the lava or not, which is cool. We can spawn lava particle effects, stuff like that. Let's do a new script called Fireplane Decorator. And I'm not using you. I might use you. Not using you. Let's keep a serialized field. Oops, I'm not on the right one. You, sir, we're not using this one. Serialized field, dungeon generator decorator. It's not what we're working on. Fire deco. These are fireplane decorator. And let's just do void decorate. It's public decorate. Not going to use update. I want it to pass. No, I don't need it. Just to serialize field fire plane generator 2. And we'll have these two reference one another. After I put one on there. And let's go ahead and make a prefab out of this guy. Let's go ahead and make a prefab out of this guy. And direction light's a little silly. We should be more like something like this. How's our skybox lighting too? There we go. Let's get more of a blood color going. Maybe a little too kind of like this maybe. Intensity. Dun, 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 dun. No, one was good. Paste that. So anyway, what I want to get going here is some of these rocks. So let's bring them out and take a look at them. Nature Manufacturer rocks. These guys, standard prefabs. Big lava rocks. Lots of LODs on them. It's pretty cool. I'm just gonna, let's see, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It doesn't matter actually, let's just make a list in our decorator. Let's do public list of game objects called rock prefabs equals new list, and we can lock the inspector, select all of these, and just drag them right in there. There's 20 of them. And we'll unlock the inspector, and now I'm going to, let's see, we've got access to the fireplane generator. We want to make the height map public so I can access that. And let's see. For now, I'm not going to even worry about it. I'm just going to say, I don't know, 100 rocks, let's say. Let's do serialize field int rock count equals 100 and rock variance equals, let's say another 100 maybe. Well, let's say 80. And then we're going to generate, this will be our base rock count, and then we'll say rock count. And we don't really need to make that global. Let's say decorate. Let's make noise public as well. And we've also got these numbers. Get random. So there we go. Let's see. Int rock count equals fireplane generator dot get random. Let's just do, you know, whatever. Me. Minimum of base rock count minus rock variance. Minus rock variance. Why don't you like me to do that? And then we do base rock count plus rock variance plus 1. So this will give us a random number between 20 and 180. And then we're going to do for int I equals 0, I equals less than rock count, I plus plus, and we're going to spawn rock. And I'm going to do it at a random location. Void spawn rock for now. Let's see. We've got public int mesh resolution now. How about? And we might as well make that public too. So we're going to make use of this kind of stuff in these other scripts. And let's go ahead and just make sure that it didn't ruin our numbers. It did not. 256 and 64. Let's go ahead and change these. 256. That gets changed to whatever he is anyway. And then I'm just gonna say once again, let's say game object go equals, well, let's say first we need to do int index equals generator, come on, dot get random. Let's do I. So I'm going to pass in the count that we've got going, and let's say I times 354 as well as I times 814. And that'll just give us some totally random point on the noise. And we're going to grab, let's say 1 to fire generator dot resolution times 4. Because we want to go in actual meters. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're just doing a index right now. So we want to do 0 and we want to do rock prefab dot count. And now we're going to do instantiate rock prefabs index like so. And we're going to do go dot transform dot position. Prior to that, we're going to do go dot transform dot set parent to the transform here. Just for now, we'll leave it at that. Position equals new, and this I want to do a couple more get randoms. Let's do, I kind of don't want to put them in line there, but yeah. Float x equals fire generator get random I times 945 I times 154, just made up numbers, 1, 2. Fire generator dot mesh resolution times 4, because this is, no, we can go ahead and just leave it like that. We'll do steps. And we want to do that again for a Z, and we just want to change these around a little bit to be, you know, whatever. I times that, mesh resolution, good. Now you're going to be at X, and we're going to be at, yeah, we're actually using the normal XZ now, so we can go fire dungeon generator dot height map X comma Z times 4 Z. No, is that not right? Height cannot implicitly float to int, sorry, for F. Huh? Are you missing a cast? This is a float. These are floats as well. Okay, let's do, I don't want to do ray casts there. Let's just do round int. Should just grab whoever's closest. And we'll do go.transform dot Euler angles equals new vector 3, and I'm gonna assume that these guys are centered in their center, but I'm not gonna assume that right now, but I'm pretty sure that they are. We're just gonna do another get random, and we'll do I times 999 I times 444. 0 to 360, and then 0. Like that. And let's do a list of game objects called spawned objects equals new, and we'll go ahead and add spawned objects or game object to that. So this should just spam out a bunch of rocks, and I think if we look at one of these and find its pivot is right at the center, which is good and bad, depending on how you want to use it, but let's see if that worked. Doesn't look like it did because I didn't call fire decorator dot decorate, and that is all that we need to do that. System is not being used apparently. And we should have a bunch of rocks all over, except that we're down at minus 900. Where are all the rocks? Yeah, they're all way up in the sky, and they're putting their X and their Z together somehow. I messed that up. Decorator, position X and Z, and this needs to be transform.position.y plus. Hi kitty, what are you doing? You show me sit on my lap? Just Sit in front of the keyboard. Rocks, rocks, rocks. Can't see the keyboard. No, these are still floating funky. And they're awfully tiny. A lot tinier than I was expecting. I'm going to take a guess here that these did not get properly multiplied. Their positions are all funky. The main reason being that we are offsetting the lava plane and that guy, which let's not do that. Stop doing this. I'm gonna move the lava plane up 500, 500. I'm gonna move you back to 0, and everybody should generate out in this direction. We want our player to be at more like 500, 500, and maybe something like 850. Let's go ahead and do like 300. Which fixes our positioning, but the rocks still are probably all clumped down here because we're not doing position times 4. X times 4, Z times 4. Height might have been correct. Let's find out. Order of operations suggests that it was going to be doing that properly, but what are we doing here? Let's go ahead and add parentheses just because I'm a stickler like that. And what do we got? We got some rocks here and there. Mighty tiny. I was expecting much bigger rocks. Let's go ahead and do something like this. All the randoms. We want to do scale. Local scale equals, well, let's do a float. Scale equals, I got a kitty in front of my keyboard, 1,000 apologies. Not 0 to 360. Let's do 559 and 794, and let's do 5 to 15. What do you think, kitty? And then we're going to do new vector 3, scale, scale, scale. So 5 to 15 times bigger the rocks. Now they're all big chunky boys. Here and there. We can walk on them. Kinda not very interesting though. How's about crank that number up? Now there's rocks everywhere and they're just totally in the way of everything. And it's going to be impossible to fight bad guys. That likewise is not what we want. It is nice having some big rocks around though. think Rangers are better than Paladins. Paladins are like walls of metal, but that doesn't matter for Rangers. Rangers don't take damage as much because they're far away. I think you're looking at that wrong, though. Like, you keep asking if wizards are better than sorcerers or something, and there's no best. None of them are really better. Like, Paladin's layout in hands is crazy strong, and, like, they can bless, and they can do, protection from good and evil and stuff like that on themselves, and their smites are really strong if you want to use that. But, like, my Paladin is tank, so, I mean, he can totally withstand combat way better than my Ranger buddy. But my Ranger buddy built for damage, so he can do way more damage than me. You know, it's like, what role do you need to be in your group? Is more what I would say you should be thinking about. It's not about just who's better. Is there no fog at all? Now that I've messed with my camera. That'll be better when we get it going in Solace Crafting itself. We got some rocks. And we can toss in some monsters. We need to think about this, though. We need to eat a cookie. That's what we need. Not a very interesting island at the moment. Well, it's not bad, though. Let's get some fire effects going on. I don't think this really came with a lot of fire effects. Particles. Lava ejection. Big. What is that? That's kind of cheesy. Volcano explosion. Yeah, these aren't very good effects. I've got better effects than this on hand. But I do kind of like the lava ejaculation. Be nice if it would not go a million miles away and just show it to me. So let's do all of those. Sorry, kitty. Doesn't like it when I sneeze. Sorry about that. Come up here. What are you doing? Lava spout prefabs. Can you not do that to my chair, please, kitty? Can you stop ruining my chair? But if you get into a dungeon that's got 8 encounters and a wizard uses up all of his magic to be overpowered on the first 2 encounters, he's useless on like the boss fight. You know, it's like I don't run like the dungeon we're running right now. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 encounters before the end encounter, which is going to be difficult. And I'm not going to let them sleep there. In fact, they tried to leave because they found who they were trying to rescue, and so they wanted to carry them out. And so I had the other encounter that they hadn't encountered yet come to them and fight, attack them. Like they'd figured it out. And then at the end of that encounter, one of the girls tried to run. One of the people that they're rescuing tried to run because she got scared and triggered the other encounter. So, I mean, by now, if we don't have a wizard, but the wizard would be totally out of spells. We used to have a wizard, and he was pretty useless. And at higher levels, you can get some really powerful spells, but you can only use them once a day, or, if you're playing the DM right, you can't take a long rest, in the middle of the day. That's just not how it works. And so the wizard is super situational. They're really, really useful once in a while. You can't have them just walk around and kill everybody. But they can be a really good addition to a party. If they don't have the basic tank, heal, damage buffer to deal with normal encounters around them, then they're just going to get murdered. But if you say in one turn, who can do the most damage? It's wizards and sorcerers. If you say across an entire dungeon, who can do the most damage? Then it's more like barbarians and rangers, I would say. I really think you're trying to do your textbook stuff too much, though. It really, 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 really 100% comes down to what do you want to play. I don't think you need figures. I would use Roll20. I mean, are you not familiar with Roll20? If you actually got buddies that you're going to meet up with, and play at a table, that's the best, definitely. Snacks and beer and laughing, and that's the best way to play D&D. But modern D&D is very commonly played on Roll20. And so like this is my campaign that we've got going on, and we use dungeon maps. You know, this is the combat that we're in right now. This is just a map that I stole from online. There's hundreds of maps you can get online. Some of them I make myself. All of the tokens I make myself just by Googling for stuff, and this way you get to move around. You've got measuring devices. It does all the rolls for you. You set up your character sheet. Here's our wizard guy that he's actually not playing with us anymore, so we don't use him, but set up your whole character sheet in here. I mean, Roll20 is, in my opinion, the way to go. And there's what are they called? Digital tabletops? Digital virtual tabletops, I think it's called. And there's a few of them. There's more than just Roll20, but that's a really good way to, you know, nothing beats actually throwing dice. It is really fun to throw dice, but Roll20 makes it really easy to get together with people online, especially now with you know, COVID going on and stuff. And I'm playing with my buddies in Seattle, and I live in Japan. You know, but that doesn't matter. We just hook up on Discord and log into Roll20, and everybody gets to play. Sun has gone down. Let's see, I gotta be somewhere at 5:20. Kind of being strict about that. Still a long ways to go though. Let's do again lava spout count. Get random. Base lava. Lava variants, just to make each one a little different. And now let's do we're not controlling overlaps or anything like that just yet. Which will make things better. Spawn lava spout. But one of the things I do want to do here is to double check the height here. Suppose we should do this actually the very first thing. Nope, just kidding. We need to use X and Z to do that. So let's do these first, and then let's say if y is less than I don't actually know what 0 is. Generate height map, The triangles are just going to get spawned at ×4. Let's see, I guess it's just the difference in the lava planes versus the generator. These guys are at minus 903.5. Everybody's at minus 903.5. That doesn't sound right. I'm locked. There we go. These guys are at minus 900, so there's 3.5 difference. And we're actually multiplying that by 4, so 3.5 divided by 4 is 0.875. Right? Times 4. So if y is less than 0.875, I want you to not do that. Now, likewise, down here, I'm going to, and now we know what y is, so we don't have to grab this again. We can just say y. And these need to be different. And if y equals greater than or equal to 0.875, then we want you to return. And let's actually go even a little bit less than that. Oh, this is difficult. This is a little bit difficult. We'll try it out though. It's not a big deal if it's coming up out of the ground a little bit. Get random. Again, bunch of random numbers. Rock prefabs. This is now lava spout. Prefabs.count. Lava spout prefabs. Transform. And now this guy we want to be right at 900. We're doing set position, but that's acceptable. I messed this up. Where did that come from? Math function round, blah blah blah, your z. There you go. This wants to be right at minus 900, I believe. Don't think the angle matters. Don't think the scale matters. Spawned objects at go. Let's see how that works out. What did we set the numbers to? 180? Okay. It's gonna make 100 attempts, but it's not actually gonna. It found a number of them. Yeah, there we got one. Do it again. Man, I don't like how rare they are. Do it again. I saw you do it. Do it again. They're on like a 45-second timer. Come on. Come on. You're no fun. Yeah, that's cool. That's fun. That does look pretty cool. Let's go ahead and crank that up. Because I'm pretty sure that those are missing quite a bit. They're picking a random... But there's a lot of spaces where they're not going to be able to spawn. I live in Japan, but I was born and raised in the States. There we got little guys and some big guys. That's cool. I like that. Spouting lava. It's coming out of the rock. Just a little bit there. Oh, is that guy coming completely out of the rocks there? Or is there a nice little lake over here? Yeah, he's spouting over here. Okay. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Well, that guy is way too up in the sky. What happened there? Where is the player? I was born and raised in Seattle. I've been living in Japan for 10 years now. Not that guy, I don't think. No, looked like one of those guys was like way up in the air. But that shouldn't be possible. They've all got their own... Yeah, that was weird. That one worked fine. Alright, you know what we really need? I mean, I've been trying to fake it with the fog, but we need some, like, ash. You know, there needs to just be, like, this constant dirty air kind of thing going on. What is this? This is a particle light? I don't care about that. I don't think that there is anything like that in here. Let's go look at this guy, because I'm pretty sure that I do have some cool... I know I've got a lot of... Oh, you live in Seattle? Where about in Seattle? I grew up in Mount Lake Terrace, Lake Forest Park area. Went to Shorecrest High School. And what was it? Shoreline Community College. A little bit of University of Washington. I think I might have some good stuff in here. Particle loops, and boy, those are big names. Let's see. Desert Storm. I would like a new scene, please. Dusty, dusty, dusty. That might be kind of what I'm looking for. Fire dance, fireflies. Let's look at that. What is that? Nope. Desert Storm. Is disabled. Play, please. Yeah, that's cool. Kind of what I'm talking about. Not really, kinda. And I can adjust these to, yeah, that looks cool. That's better than the last one. Sort of ashy yuckiness that just kind of follows you around. Dusty, what are you? Yeah, that's cool. Dusty 2. Yeah, I think that's better than the last one, actually. We'll turn that off. Keep leaning forward to the mic. I gotta keep the mic close to me. Dusty 3. Oh, break time. Dusty 3 might be just what we're looking for, actually. Hi, Katie. Let's go ahead and Dusty 3. What are you doing, Kitty? Let's do select dependencies and export package. Yeah. Do you know the restaurant Ishiang? It's a Japanese restaurant. I used to work at a restaurant in Fremont called Ishiang. Issian. I want to go to Unity projects, test 3, assets. This is going to be Dusty 3. Thank you very much. Let's import that. It's just down the street from Molly Moon's. Some of the really good ice cream. Molly Moon's, if you've never been to Seattle. And they might be all over the place by now. Like I say, I've been gone for 10 years, so it's very different there now. Say we got something like this. Just following the player around, making things dusty. I want these to spawn simulation space world. Can I just do that for all of them? Nope. Simulation space world, simulation space world, embers, world, point light. No. No point light, thank you. So now when I walk around, there's just going to be this I gotta get it centered on me first, of course. And is it playing? I'm not seeing any dust here. Hold on a sec. Player 000. Go. It started with me, didn't follow with me. There it is. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Need some work. Let's go ahead and make a prefab of that in our fire dimension. It might not even be there, I don't know. Like I say, I haven't. If I go to, every time I go to the States now, I'm so out of place, because I don't know anything anymore. I think it's on 45th? No. Man, I don't, no, not Aurora. Off of the freeway. Dix, there we go. Whoa, kitty kitty, easy there. Sitting on my keyboard. Musashi's, yeah, I think it's just down from Musashi's, isn't it? No, Kozue, there's Molly Moons. Ishan. Yeah, so they're still in business. 4.5 reviews, alright. Doing good. Wonder if they got the same manager. He was an interesting fella. That's a pretty cool place down there, though. Yeah, Ishan. The barber next door was a really cool guy. Molly Moon's really good ice cream. Nostalgia. I used to park right here every day for some reason. I don't know why I was allowed to park here. Isn't that dumb? They have to put a sign on every corner. No parking south of here. It's like, dude, figure it out. Yeah, good times. Seattle's a really cool place. I'm just so out of touch with America anymore. If that makes sense. Made you a prefab. I want you to be a lot bigger, is basically what I was gonna say. Say like 10 by 10 by 10. I don't know that scaling you actually works like that. But I think it does. And I think you guys will inherit that. And I think you need to be a little lower. Yeah, everything needs to be bigger. Start size 1. Let's do random, well, yeah, you know, 10. Start size 10. Start size 50 to 80. Oops. 50 to 80. And the embers start size is way small too. Let's still yeah, we'll do times 10. And I want to lower that whole thing down about like 5 beneath the player, something like that. Because I want this to be spawning like even while you're like walking around. There's just this kind of like gunk in the air effect. Let's also change this from that to something more like this. Same with the dust. You guys need to be a little more ready. I think, even though looks like you're largely transparent. Less gray, more red. Red, orange. Let's do somewhere in between red and orange. How about? And embers, likewise, you need to be more somewhere in between solid orange and a solid red. Maybe a little too red. And not quite enough orange. Post effects, particle effects can make a big difference in the feel. So now we got jumping lava. We got some smoky goodness going on. And this will just kind of follow the player around. Spawn some stuff wherever they are. If you climb up and around too fast, you will kind of walk out of the way of it, but it'll catch up with you eventually here. I did -5. Maybe that should not really be. Maybe more like -2-ish. What is your shape? You don't have a shape. You have what? Duration, life, size, speed. What about you guys? Shape. There we go. Yeah, your shape is pretty small. I'm gonna up you to be more like 4-ish. And maybe a little bit more like 1-ish. How's that feel? Might have spread that out a little bit too much, I think. That was a pretty big change. How about 2-ish and 0-ish again? And your emissions are not much. Let's up that a little bit. The embers definitely need to be coming from lower as well. So let's turn their emission up too. You guys are still at just 1, huh? Yeah, I think you need to be at 2. And I'm going to drag that down here so that it saves the changes. And that all looks pretty cool. What is this again? I don't even know. Dusty embers. Cool. Spitting lava. Alright, now we need some like fire blossoms and some monsters. So many things. Scenes. Nope, I think I just put them straight down here. Monsters, what was it called? Lava monsters? Fire monsters. No? What did I call it? Dang it. Scenes. Fire dimension monsters. Don't save. Okay, we need to start getting some of these guys in here. I want to get flaming, flying skulls and phoenixes and all kinds of stuff. But I'm going to take a quick little break. Let's see. I got to be somewhere at 5:20, which means I should probably leave at around 4. It's kind of rush hour. $4:45. Just gonna take a quick break here. Do a little stretch. Maybe pet some cats. I'll be right back. tasty cookies. Hope I don't get in trouble for eating the last one. I don't want to make anyone have to listen to me chomp. Alright, let's get some of these more obvious guys over there. Like the Phoenix. Scrolling UVs. Right. This guy too. I like this guy. Cerberus. Cerberus, it's called, I guess. I was saying Cerebus. And I want to redo this guy's skin, but let's bring him over anyway. Or do we want to just make this guy be our fire golem? He's pretty badass. I like this guy. Yeah, this guy just looks kind of funky. Let's go with the rock golem that we painted red. Oops. Got to do select dependencies. Export. What to call him? Let's say golem fire. And it's a good start. I kind of just really like this guy. I guess he's better in like the undead setting or something. And imps are just kind of traditionally magic. Let's see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3. 3 is a good start. We could put this guy up at the top, I guess. I think I'm gonna have to sign off at 4, which is in 40 minutes. And just kind of get ready. Kind of tired of these classes a bit. Kind of like to relax for a bit before I leave, to be honest. Gotta leave at like 4:40. Maybe I'll sign off at 3:40ish. Take a little downtime. So we're done with you for now. whoops, I keep clicking that. Let's import, what do we got? Fire Golem guy. We got Demon Lord guy. The Cerberus. Of course, and you never really know where these packages are coming from. Sometimes they're from Poland, sometimes they're from Portugal, sometimes they're from Canada. Spelling stuff differently. You are trying to replace or create a prefab from the instance Fire Sword that references a missing script. Lava Whip. How come those didn't come over? Probably not a big deal. Mess with it later if we need to. Not going to be doing animations until we move things into Solace Crafting. Just want to try and get some stuff to spawn here. Let's do a list of monsters. And then let's do not a list. Just the Demon Lord guy. Can't type with the cat. Demon Lord. And let's see. See, this is where keeping track of this kind of stuff pays off, so that later we can say, don't spawn it next to the rocks. But it's not a big deal. We could even do some ray casts. But right now we'll just spawn a bunch of them. I'm gonna sign off here in a minute anyway. So let's see, int, let's do serialized int monster count. And we'll do monster count. Spawn monster. We're not gonna need that stuff. We'll copy this one. Do spawn monster. Again, for now, we'll just do some random numbers. And that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Here we need it to be, we could actually say that those guys can all walk on lava. Maybe. But we'll stick with, no they can't for now. And then, index is gonna be get random monsters.count monsters index we already got the y, set the y times 4. No, that's just straight up y, isn't it? Transform position dot y plus y. Okay. Transform. Hi, kitty. Transform dot position dot y plus y. And angle scale stuff we won't worry about yet. And we just need to toss them in there now. And let's see if we can see some monsters. I believe they're spread out over here. Goblin Cobble, Demon Lord. The Golem we're going to use. Golem Rock. He is one of our monsters. Demon Lord is special. We're not going to be spawning him at random. We've also got the Cerebus. Is a monster, as well as the Phoenix. That should be enough to get some monsters spawning. Maybe, maybe not. Did we get any monsters? Lava? Golems? Where are they at? There's a guy. He is dead inside of a rock. And this guy is over there. So they're out there. Just not enough of them. Looks like they need to be moved up a tad. We'll fix that. Let's see. I don't think we have a layer set up in this at all, do we? No. Let's just do a basic, assuming that that worked. Let's do ray equals new ray. We want it to be something like this. Transform dot position dot y plus, let's say 50, comma, direction vector 3 down, and then we want to say raycast hit, and we want to say physics. Well, let's say if physics dot raycast. We want to use our ray. We want to use most of this. Out hit max distance of, let's say, 100. And we want to do a layer mask as well. Ray out max distance layer mask. Why doesn't accept an int there? I don't know. Let's say 1. I think it's just 1, isn't it? Thank you for the light, Katie. Still awake? Is it recompiling? No. Default is 0. I guess I'll just go ahead. It's just kind of a rule of thumb that you want to use a layer mask whenever you're doing a raycast. Did I do that right? I'm lost confidence in myself now. Let me check how I do that normally. In Solace Crafting, we would be doing that under... Boy, I don't even know. Global masks. But it gets set up in a different location right here. No, that's not it. Oh, did I do layer mask? Sorry, no, player mask is what I wanted to look at. Player mask equals 1, and then you just do that, and the player layer. Yeah, so I believe I'm doing that right. 1 bit shift 0, and so we're going to use that as our ground mask. And we are going to ignore triggers. So assuming that hit, we're going to change y to equal hit dot point dot y. And then we can set our position straight to our y. Actually, let's, so that we can use that still, let's say y equals this minus transform dot position dot y. That way we don't have to change this. So even if the physics cast failed, we can still use the same line there. And that should help the guys stay above ground better. Not a big deal with the rocks because they're just big and chunky and they'll stick out either way. So we can see a phoenix over here. There's a golem over here. It's doing this kind of funky. Well, that's just the editor loading the LODs in. And they don't have any AI or animation controllers on them or anything yet, but they spawn. Phoenix is cool. It's just going through its loop of animations. Dust and smoke. I'm not sure if that's enough of them. It's probably a decent number. We don't want to have too many. Do want to definitely add a lot more clutter up here. And again, I don't have this test player built so that he can look up or down. But, oh yeah? Monsters anyway. They're out there. So that's a good start. Definitely want some more clutter. I would like some fireballs falling from the sky. Like I say, I keep going to look at stuff like this, like just what makes it more interesting. I mean, this open ground like this is, of course, the biggest problem. You just have ground. One at least have little rocks or like some bones and, you know, fire plants and ore, and can't really do grass. And of course we could get some flowing lava going here if we really want to. But yeah. I'm going to take a little screenshot going to sign off here, do just a little half-hour downtime, and then I'm going to have to head out. I've got a stomach camera in the morning. Woohoo! So I'm not going to be here tomorrow morning, and it's actually Christmas tomorrow, in case you didn't know that. So wife and I are going to go shopping. Hopefully they found something about my stomach that they'll say, you should go eat a big steak and we'll go have a nice Christmas dinner somewhere or something like that. So probably won't be streaming tomorrow. We'll see though. I might come home and get an itch to work on this stuff because these guys are cool. This is fun. Either case, looking to patch the new dungeon into beta tomorrow or tonight. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for the likes and the follows. If I don't see you tomorrow, I might see you Saturday. If not, it's kind of up in the air, to be honest, what's going to happen. So I'll put up a note on Twitch and YouTube and some things and Twitter and whatnot. If I'm gone for the New Year's, which is the big deal over here in Japan. Worst case scenario, I will be back the 5th, I think. People should be settled down by then. I think my wife has work somewhere around there. So we'll be back. I'll have some end of the year addressing to do and this and that, and yeah.